Good morning, everyone. We already did the Kingdom of the North right here out of this 4-pack Ommegang beer special that they released this past year. This is a Game of Thrones inspired beer set. They have the 750 milliliter versions of each bottle as well. But in this one right here, it comes with 12 ounce, four of them, bottles of the four different types. Okay, so we already did King in the North. We're going to flip this around and we're going to do this one over here. You can't really read it. The yellow and the silver label really doesn't work too well, but it says Queen in the Seven Kingdoms. So let's pop this open. I'll pull out that one. So we'll go to their website and see what they have to offer. Again, this part of their website is a part of their blog. It wasn't under their actual Ommegang Game of Thrones tab that they have special for the other Game of Thrones beers that they've done, and it is listed under there. So far the appeal of this, just like the whole entire thing, was pretty high. Appeal of this one, 6.4, but the appeal, I'm going to give it overall 7 out of 10. Nice golden label right here. Nice thing that you can actually sit there and observe. Other than that, not much to actually do right here. I'm not really a fan of Game of Thrones, and that's only simple because I do not actually watch it. I don't have any ability to watch it. So, but I can still review this beer. So let us go to that website. Do a little screen grab. Go over the Royal Reserve. This is the Royal Reserve Collection by Queen of the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. Clink. Beers come together. Inspired by Game of Thrones. Inspired Royal Reserve's collection. Inspired by Cersei, I can't say it. This exceptional blend of Belgium Sour and Belgium Style Blonde Ale will be available only in the United States beginning in late June. A list of distribution states will be available earlier that month when the beer begins shipping to wholesalers. Details about their collection and the first beer are below in the press release. This is their first one. I'm doing a little bit out of order based off of what appeals to me. It's an exceptional blend of Belgian Sour Ale, Belgium Style Blonde Ale, Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, fitting for a fair-haired ruler who's as acerbic as they come. Available through Ommegang's distribution network on June 29th. 750 milliliters are sold around $12.99. This one that I got right here, if you can see, they didn't put it in the price right there, but you can get the 4-pack if they still have it. I got it for $36.99. Pours a pale gold color with brilliant white head. Aromas of melon, citrus, lactic acidity melt together with fruity esters from the Belgian yeast. Tart citrus flavors soften to sweet malt flavors with notes of apricots. Finish is dry and crisp with subtle citrus bite from the lemon peel. Queen of the Seven Kingdom pairs well with the sharp aged cheeses and salty cured meats, red meat or dark poultry, spiced desserts like pumpkin pie or apple tarts. Don't have any of those. You won't see me shoving my face with those, but if you find this beer and you don't do beer reviews, or you do beer reviews, maybe you could pair it together and let me know what you think. So you can find out more information. This is on their blog. You can actually go to Ommegang, their website, and see their other beers. One of my favorites is the Three Philosophers. Great beer. Great beer. Follow the directions on the bottle itself to actually have the best experience. So let us go back here and let us do that good old pour. Like I said, this is a 12-ounce bottle. This is 6.4 ABV. It is a little small description on the label. All the little licensing from HBO and themselves and Ommegang. You got your government warning always. You also have your recycling information. Ommegang Breweries out of Cooperstown, New York, and they're asking not to litter on this label. So let's see what we can do for you right here. Let's put this back in the screen. It says it's going to be gold with a nice white head. Oh, look at that. And they weren't lying. Nice transparency right there. Carbonation looks phenomenal. Way that I poured it, it kind of has a spiral in there. Let's get closer and see if I can't get it all over my laptop. Very, very citrusy. Do I specifically smell the apricots? I do not. You could probably find some more information on there itself. Beer review number 60. This is a phenomenal choice. Brewroma. I could go there and do our Brewroma and say that it is pleasing. So it's 7 out of 10 so far, 14 out of 20. Not too sour. That surprises me a little bit. Maybe it's because they blended it really well. A sour blonde ale blend. There's more sourness than Sour Patch Kids. And as always, I'm not sponsored by these companies. I just enjoy the beer that they provide. And the graphics that are in this video and the graphics that are shown on the thumbnail itself are all rights reserved to those companies and the licenses that they pertain to the companies that they are representing through their beer and through their advertising. I do not own them. Using these references as images as common knowledge reference material. So, very pleasant. Very, very pleasant. And I would suggest that you could go out and get this beer as well. There's some other ones that are in here. There's a barley wine that's in that pack. And also, let's see what we got. It's a smoked porter. I know some people don't like smoked style beers. I'm starting to like them even more. But you can always risk it and get this 4-pack. It would be a very pleasant experience either way. So far, I've had 2 pleasant experiences. Appeal of Brewroma 7.7. And because the beer is actually not that sour because of its blend with that blonde ale, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. We raised that score all the way up, 7, 10, 14, 9, 23 out of 30. Not a bad score. Ommegang, I really appreciate the quality beer that you do, and if in the future we could do a beer tour, I would really like it. Only 30 subscribers at this moment, but hey, I could probably garner some subscribers as well if I can get some actual in-site beer reviews at the beer breweries themselves. So, if you want to, skip this rest of the part of the video. I'm following suit with what I feel like I have to do, and thank you for coming by to see this beer review. Thank you for what you do. May God bless you and your families. As always, I ask you to drink in moderation and drink responsibly. I hope you all had a great New Year's Eve and great New Year's Day this past few days, and I hopefully see you guys soon. I'm going to go and try to get into starting to read this morning's actual Bible verse. Let us go to the website itself, Bible.com. And it brings me back to 1 John every time. Cool. We're going to do the New International Version. And simply, what do we have? John 1. John 2. So, well, how's everybody doing this evening? And I'm going to click it over right here. Go back here. Jesus changes water into wine. On the third day, a wedding took place at Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine was gone, Jesus' mother said to him, "They have no more wine." "Woman, why do you involve me?" Jesus replied. We should also note that the way that Jesus said woman was not denoting any disrespect in the Greek way. "My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Nearby stood 6 stone water jars, the kind used by the Jews for ceremonial washing, each holding from 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars of water," so they filled them to the brim. And he told them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." They did so, and the master of the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. He did not realize where it came from. The servants who had drawn the water knew. Then he called the bridegroom aside and said, "Everyone brings out the choice wine first, and then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink." It's because they don't want the choice wine to go to waste. So you go for the better stuff first. And if you're going to abuse it, you're going to drink cheaper as the night goes on, because that's how it goes. But you and have to save the best till now. A lot of people like to look at this and they say what they want to say about this. Theology behind it is more in depth than just trying to make an argument for alcohol and drinking. What Jesus did here in Cana and Galilee was the first of the signs through which he revealed his glory, and his disciples believed him. After this, he went down to Capernaum with his mother and his brothers and his disciples. There they stayed for a few days. This is one of my favorite parts. Jesus clears the temple courts when it's almost time for the Jewish Passover. Jesus went up to Jerusalem. In the temple courts, he found people selling cattle, sheep, and doves, and others sitting at tables exchanging money. So he made a whip out of cords, drove all of them from the temple courts with sheep and cattle. He scattered the coins of the money changers and overturned their tables. To those who sold doves, he said, "Get these out of here. Stop turning my Father's house into a market." His disciples remembered that it is written, "Zeal for your house will consume me." The Jews then responded to him, "What sign can you show us to prove your authority to do all this?" Jesus answered them, "Destroy this temple and I will raise it again in 3 days." They replied, "It has taken 46 years to build this temple, and you're going to raise it in 3 days?" But the temple he had spoke about was his body. After he was raised from the dead, his disciples recalled what he said. Then they believed the scripture and the words that Jesus had spoken. Now, while he was in Jerusalem at the Passover festival, many people saw the signs he was performing and believed in his name. But Jesus would not entrust himself to them, for he knew all people. He did not need any testimony about mankind, for he knew what was in each person. So, not a bad scripture at all. So, I feel like I have to do this because I myself am lacking in scripture in the morning, scripture in the evenings. And if I'm going to stand strong on certain convictions, I'm going to stand strong on the convictions that I have to stand strong on. That is my faith in my family. But as always, I ask you to sit there and think about what you're doing. Think about the items that you have in your life and the people that you have in your life, and really reflect on what you have. Be thankful for that. Be thankful for the faith that you have, if you have it. I ask you to reflect on that and see where the truth lies. So, there's a lot of talks that we can do about what's going on recently, and I've done some talks on this channel right here that only garnered a few views, but it's okay. But I'm going to still do talks. I'm going to still talk about certain things. That just understand that I'm not talking about these subjects because I hate or disrespect or dislike any of you. I'm only talking about it because it's what's on my mind recently. We need to start conversations again. If we can start these conversations again, we can actually allow healing to happen in our country. Conversations where we will have both sides disagreeing with each other, but not to the point where they want to kill or maim or hurt somebody. So, one of those topics that has recently come up is I was reflecting on the idea of pro-choice and pro-life. Pro-choice, you never find somebody in that pro-choice argument that is actually arguing that their choice to have a kid is being infringed. So it's kind of a circular argument, or not even that, it's kind of an argument that sits there and allows you to say that you're being pro-choice, which sounds better than abortion itself. It does. Pro-choice sounds better than abortion, the simple task of killing a baby inside a mother's womb. So that's why we use it. There's no other choice in the matter. Pro-choice. There's no other time where someone's trying to infringe on a woman's right to give the baby up for adoption. That's not a part of that. So it's kind of one-sided. It's kind of lacking. You can't sit there and say anything that is pro-choice is pro-choice, because you have to have choices other than one choice. So instead of hiding what we want to say, let us speak it truthfully to our neighbors, and let us speak it truthfully to the people that we are around. It's fairly early in the morning here, so that's why I'm looking around, just to make sure that my kids are still sleeping and getting the rest that they deserve. So, besides that, I was also sitting there thinking about what has going on in life and anything that could happen. And we could sit there and just argue and argue and argue about why certain things happen and why we should stand our ground on certain things that we believe in. But if our argument is not valid, then we should actually think about trying to get rid of that in our lives. So it just doesn't make sense. So I am pro-life. Pro-life means one thing. It doesn't mean that I have other choices. It means that over time, I have made the decision that no matter what, the life inside the womb is precious. And you're going to see that lately. You're going to see people sitting there making comparisons to people on the border that are being valued from another country, another group of people than the people that are in the country itself. Yes, they should be valued. And then they make the contrast, they go, if you value the person crossing illegally under a border and do not value the life inside a mother's womb, then you have a political agenda. And I agree with that. But I would like to see if we could reflect on these topics and see if we could find a better way to debate these. Because that's what happens these days. We have Twitter fights. And if Twitter doesn't like your view, you get banned. We have fights on YouTube. We have fights on Facebook. We have all this stuff. And if they don't like your opinion, you're banned. It's kind of one-sided. If you're not speaking hate towards a particular group of people, and granted, everybody can define their own hate their own way, so as soon as you say you disagree with the lifestyle of a person or the way that they're acting, they're going to say that's hateful. So maybe we should ask ourselves to look at what's going on and say, hey, maybe instead of seeing my words as being hateful, maybe see those words as coming from a different worldview. With that, it's what it is. Just because you disagree with somebody doesn't mean that you want to hurt them or kill them. But today, that's how they view it. What else is going on? So, essentially, there's vast things that I've been noticing here on YouTube. The YouTube algorithm itself is just crazy. What they recommend is based off of what you're viewing and how you're looking right. And if that's the case, there's certain things that I just don't understand. Why is there Kim Jong-gi, how did he become a master? Maybe I should watch the 15-minute video, but I honestly don't want to find out why. GoFundMe Border Wall found has a fiery... yeah, that's really interesting. That's quite clever. A person raised on a website $18 million so far. Oh, I see the links to all this other stuff. Most of it, if you click on comedy, you're going to find stuff that's recommended as comedy. If you click on certain topics, they're going to find stuff that links to that, kind of just like Netflix does. Your subscription should be recently uploaded. But some of these people I don't subscribe to. It's funny. Recently uploaded. It's quite funny. And they're sitting there taking that based on what they believe that would be the best. But maybe I don't want to sit there and watch what they said. Maybe I want the choice. And that's what the advertisements allow you to have. The advertisements allow you to have choice, or the YouTube Red allow you to have choice. And simply, if you pay for a subscription and you're watching somebody that's getting demonetized, some of your money that you're paying for should be going towards that person. It's going to be a drastically low fraction, but if you're paying $8.99 a month and you're watching a demonetized person, they should get a fraction of that money. And over a few months, that may equal $1, because if you're watching 100 videos a month and that 100 goes to those 800, you're getting cents per video. But they would still get something. Still get some type of recommended channel for you. Recommended videos for you. Let's see. Watching a lot of CNN and Fox, and so a lot of the videos I see are, let's see, Fox and CBS. My kids got a hold of my YouTube channel. They looked up dinosaurs, so of course that's going to bring up some stuff. Recipes are for me and my wife. Drama, yeah. But there's not much more that you can do. You could sit there and try to learn from this, or you could sit there and try to be consumed by what you have to do. The comedy, though, is getting bad. Like, does a comedian really have to talk about sexual things in order to be funny? Does a comedian really have to put themselves out there in a way that, you know, they throw one thing out and then all of a sudden they say something that just throws you off drastically? Do they have to do that? No, I don't think so. But it's not bad. Art, that's good. Seeing some things. And some of the channels that I have, they have their own little section on the YouTube homepage. And it's not bad. Yep. I don't understand how it works. Just can't figure it out. Channel that does ridiculous stuff, throws balls and throws stuff off of ledges and just visits the world, is getting millions of views for playing tic-tac-toe from 106 meters. That's just amazing. Joe Rogan's going up there in popularity. Everything that he does gets millions of views. Now you have to find a video or a clip that doesn't have it. And I'm saying after a month they're going to have 1 million views. If I go towards a certain topic, that's just crazy. Well, I'm going to end this video right now. And as always, I ask you to drink in moderation. I ask you to do life in moderation and take life as it is, a blessing from God. And that's what it truly is. I know some of you won't be watching at this early in the morning, but it's okay. Some of you will be sleeping across the world, and that's okay as well. And when you watch this, give me a like, give me a comment, give me a dislike. It's fine too, but give me a comment. Tell me why. Tell me what you want to see, and tell me what you disagree or agree with me on. Hopefully I will see more of you soon, and later on today I'll be doing another reflection video, maybe on the same topic of pro-life versus pro-choice. Have a good night. See you next morning.